And good evening, everybody, and welcome here to Charlotte Motor Speedway as we're getting set for race number 12 of the NR2003 Diva Busch Series. Getting set to go racing for 20 laps of racing here at Charlotte in the History Channel 300. And if it is anything like our Diva Truck Series race we had here last night, we're in for a very interesting race and see if we're going to have the same situation. And hopefully, tomorrow's Diva Cup Series race will be exciting as far as the Coke 600 is concerned. April Winter is on the pole position for the first time this season. She is third in the point standings, 31 back of Caitlin Roy, who took the points lead 2 weeks ago at Dover International Raceway. Elena Lydia alongside of her. Lydia comes into this race 27th in the point standings, still looking for her first win of the season for DEI. Ada Choi in row number 2 comes this race 33rd in the point standings, and alongside of her is Charlotte Lopez in the 57. Charlotte Lopez comes into this race 6th in the points, only one top 5 and 5 top 10s. As we're going to show you the rest of the lineup, I'll mention about the new drivers in just a second. Caitlin Roy is the points leader by 9 points over Leela Bakai, who lost the points lead after Dover, as I mentioned. April Winters, our pole sitter, as I mentioned, third in the standings, 31 points back. 47 points back is Darlene Ward, who is fourth in the standings. 108 points back is Angela Thornburg, who is fifth. Sixth is Charlotte Lopez, as I mentioned, who is starting in fourth. Seventh is Isabel Gordon, 134 points back. Eighth in the standings is Carolina Bradley. Caleb Ambrosia is ninth in the standings, 165 back, and Nally Fisher completes our top 10. And I'm trying to remember who won the last points event. That would be actually April Winters, who won at Dover. It's time to get these girls rolling off behind the pace car. The command has been given, and it'll be time to go racing. Of course, April Winters picking up her second win of the season. One of the top stories coming into this evening's race, Hanako Watanabe and Sydney Ball. It's been a very difficult season for those two ladies, no longer the drivers of those rides. Brooke Packett, making her Diva Busch Series debut, will take over the driving duties of the Zero for the rest of the season. And piloting the 79 is Kasumi Takashi, who is making her Diva Busch Series debut. And of course, she's got a long way to go, starting from 41st on the grid. One driver is going to be making her final start in the Diva Busch Series, and that is Shyla Askarov. Due to her commitments in GTS race, she will be vacating this ride for Dakota Lee, who will be in that ride starting next week at Phoenix. So we'll see how those two debutant drivers go. Of course, Sydney Ball will be moving down to the Truck Series by her permission granted by yours truly, starting next season. She'll be on a full-time ride, replacing whoever moves up to this series. But here we go, 20 laps of racing as the History Channel 300 is about to get underway. April Winters, Elena Lydia lead us to green. We're racing here tonight at Charlotte. And of course, the 79 and the 0 came into this race 40th and 41st in owner points. So that kind of doesn't surprise me to see them at the bottom of the points table as far as the owner points is concerned, because as of now, those rides would have to race their way into the season opener next season. Because remember, top 30 of this group of the Diva Busch Series, as April Winters led the first lap, top 30 would be locked in. 31st on down would have to race their way in. Ada Chua currently leading. Balam Kim right now going to try to take the lead from the 22. Balam Kim dropped 7 spots down to 14th in the point standings. Mackenzie Servino, 12th in the point standings, having a surge up through the table. There's Darlene Ward, who comes in this race fourth in the point, comes into this race. Yeah, fourth in the points. I was correct. There's Eva Mata in the 7. Eva Mata comes this race 31st in the point standings in the Kleenex Scott Product Chevrolet. There's Wanda McBride. Askarov, by the way, will continue her duties in the Truck Series for the rest of the season before she leaves to continue her GTS Array commitments. Let's see where Wanda McBride came into this race. She's 32nd in points. Isabel Gordon comes into this race 7th in the point standings, gained 8 spots after our Dover race 2 weeks ago, as Eva Mata is now leading this race. Let's find out where the gal that came in this race as our points leader, Caitlin Roy, currently leading. Leela Bakai is currently in the, where is the 43? She is 16th. Came in this race second in points. It is almost becoming the same thing we saw last night in the Diva Truck Series. Of course, Hanako Watanabe, who's no longer in the 0, of course, is going to still run the Truck Series nevertheless. So she can focus on one series, which is completely understandable after, the 0 not having a good season in this one. As I said, came as race 40th in owner points. Sydney Ball was 41st in points. And also, Alyssa Albon is rumored to be possibly out of that ride in the 30 as the caution's out for the first time here tonight if she doesn't pick up the pace soon. So unlike our Diva Truck Series last night, the first yellow of the race weekend comes out on lap number 7. Let's see who brought out the yellow. Oh, Charlotte Lopez, 6th in points, is involved. Darby King is involved. That's another driver who's been struggling this season. Balam Kim is involved. As I don't know what Prue Granger's doing. Selena Diaz. Oh, we've had a big one. 2nd in points. Leela Bakai, Angela Thornburg, Emma Kaiser. Chow Deng is involved. Ivana Dune is in it. Anna McDowell. Natalie, that's not Natalie Decker. That's Natalie Fisher. As I'm going to go smack my keyboard for that. Jayla Durazin is in it. Anna McDowell, Alexandria Sarnes. We've just had the big one at Charlotte. Oh, boy. Caution's out for the first time here tonight. The big one strikes here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's jump back, look at a replay to see what happened as we're coming up to the halfway point of tonight's History 300. Well, remember what I talked about back in the All-Star race last weekend, that turns 3 and 4 was trouble spots. Well, that was what happened. Leela Bakai got hooked by Angela Thornburg and nowhere for Balam Kim to go. And it just clogged up the racetrack. And remember, Leela Bakai lost the points lead last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. Charlotte Lopez just had nowhere to go. Annie James, there's Fisher getting involved. Kaiser runs in the back of the Dr. Pepper Dodge. There's where the 60 goes up in the wall. Dune gets turned by the 37. Prue Granger nearly hits the Audubon Ford Taurus, rather. There's Sarge, who was having a good season, and there's Leela Bakai. There's Leela Bakai. Unfortunately, she is out of the race. And remember, that was the gal that was trying to run down Caitlin Roy for the points lead. And 2 weeks in a row for Leela Bakai, she's going to drop down even further after holding on to the points lead for quite a while. So the caution's out for the first time here tonight at Charlotte. Let's jump back to the restart here at Lowe's Motor Speedway. Green flag going to come back in the air on lap number 12 of 20. Getting ready to have 9 laps of racing to go. Top 10 as we go back to green. Wanda McBride, the leader. Mackenzie Servino, second. Megan Knight, third. Eva Monta, fourth. Becky Sampson, fifth. Calvin Berger, sixth. Azara Mirwa, seventh. Eighth is Aaron Walsh. Caitlin Roy, the points leader, is ninth. And Isabel Gordon completes the top 10. The honorable mention of Carolina Bradley running in 11th. Drivers out after that incident: Jayla DeRazin, Angela Thornburg, Darby King. Darby King has had a tough season so far. Charlotte Lopez came as race sixth in the points. That was a driver running well in points. Same with Angela Thornburg. So both of those girls are going to take hits in the standings. Annie James is out of the race. Annie James came in this race. If I look at the standings, Annie James was 23rd in the points. That was definitely not the run she needed. Leila Bakai, second in points, out of the race in 40th. Natalie Fisher out of the race. She was 10th in points coming in this race. And poor Emma Kaiser, she will finish in dead last. 28th in the points. Been a tough season for Kaiser. Green flag back in the air here at Charlotte. A lot of other drivers got caught up. Balam Kim was one of the drivers caught up in that incident. She was 14th in the point standing. So a couple of drivers that came inside the top 10 in the points running well take some hits in the standings heading into next week's race at Phoenix International Raceway. Chow Dang is off the pace. I have a bad feeling they're going to catch her. There's Selena Diaz, Alexandria Sarnes, Prue Granger, Autumn McDowell had a lot of damage. Von Dune, I don't see a lot of damage on the AC Delco machine, so we only have 28 cars that are up to speed. But that 23 is going to be an issue. As Mackenzie Servino, going to take the race lead. Calvin Berger right there. There's Megan Knight, Wanda McBride, who was our race leader, going to drop back to fourth. How about Brooke Packett making her debut, running up in the top 10, running in the 9th position? Really big for Brooke Packett in her debut. And there's Alyssa Albon, dead last in the points. Right now, she's going to jump Sydney Ball and Hanako Watanabe, even though, to be fair, Watanabe is trying to run for a championship in the truck series, so makes a lot of sense as we're down to 5 laps of racing to go. Megan Knight leads this race. Megan Knight comes in this race 19th in the point standings, former winner this season. Leaders are running 192. The 23 is running 154. That's over 40 miles an hour right there. And oh no, this is not going to end pretty, y'all. Look out, the 23 going to be a problem. The 23 just held up a bunch of people, and this is not going to go well. There goes Mackenzie Servino, who's going to make contact, but they hang on to it. Servino not too happy about this, and this is going to really hurt a lot of other people. Wanda McBride's getting held up. The Zero's getting held up. Tatiana Guerra just gained a snotload of positions as a result of the 23 apparently impeding the leaders. As Isabel Gordon going to take the lead. Here comes the adorable Carolina Bradley. I don't know if they're going to catch the 6 car, but I know the 23 is like 4 laps down or 40 miles an hour off the pace. And it held up April Winters, who's third in the point standings, and Darlene Ward, who's third and fourth in points, still getting held up. That's not going to sit well with those two. And Chow Dang is probably going to be ordered to meet with race control for not going fast enough, and Darlene Ward lost a lot of time as a result. Oh boy. That's going to really shake up the points, I can tell you that for certain. White flag is in the air for Isabel Gordon. Last lap here at Charlotte. Boy, I can't wait to see what kind of point shakeup we're going to be in for tonight. But here comes Becky Sampson, the 27, going to go to the inside. Becky Sampson just made the winning move, and off of turn 4, Becky Sampson's going to win the History Channel 300 here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Becky Sampson, who came in this race 17th in the points with only one top 10 this season, will go to victory lane. Well done to that 27 team. Standings are official. I wonder who wrecked the 23. That's something we'll never know. Carolina Bradley will get second. Well done to Bradley. Came in this race 8th in the points. Will keep herself in the top 10 leaving tonight. Azara Mirbuez comes away with a solid third. Came in this race 22nd in points. That will move her way into the top 20. Isabel Gordon, who had the lead coming to the white flag, will have to settle for 4th, but that will keep her inside the top 10 in the points. Megan Knight got 5th. Megan Knight, 19th in the points, will move her way up. Alyssa Albon, dead last in points. Well-needed run for her in 6th. Erin Walsh gets 7. She was 24th in the point standings. So good run for her. Caleb Ambrosia got a solid 8th place result nevertheless, as Ambrosia comes into this race 9th in the points. That will keep her inside the top 10. Eva Mata gets 9th. Eva Mata was, let me find Eva Mata. She was 31st in the point standing, so she'll move her way up to the front. And quiet run for Sally Ford. Didn't talk much about her. 20th in the standings, will complete the top 10. Caitlin Roy missed out on the top 10. She came as race as the points leader. The good news for her, the gal that was trying to run her down for the points lead finished out of the race. And her other title contenders had troubles tonight. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, good run for Brooke Packett and Kasumi Takashi in their debuts, 18th and 19th. Good runs for those ladies. April Winters fell all the way down to 30th. Came as race 3rd in the points. Darlene Ward came as race 4th in the points, going to take a hit. Chow Deng will finish a lap down 34th, although I bet you the officials are not going to be happy with her. 16th in the points will definitely fall through the standings, and I have a good feeling she might get suspended for, well, really just screwing this race up on its head. Out of the race were Jayla DeRezin, Angela Thornburg, Darby King, Charlotte Lopez, Andy James, Lee Lebekai, 2nd in points. Natalie Fisher, not Natalie Decker. I think the keyboard was being a drunken hyena. And then poor Emma Kaiser had started the weekend with the big advantage and ends up finishing dead last. What a huge disappointment for her. But Charlotte has really wreaked its havoc on the points. But despite finishing in 11th, Caitlin Roy will keep the points lead heading into next week at Phoenix Raceway. Tomorrow, we cap off our race weekend from Charlotte for the Diva Cup Series as we get ready for the Coca-Cola 600. Hope you will join us for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this evening's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Race Crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings will be down in the description heading into next week's race at Phoenix Raceway. We'll see you tomorrow for the Coke 600. Until then, I've been DeVol signing off. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of PCS Race TV, the best in racing around the world since 2017. Good night from Charlotte Motor Speedway.